Sure you don't want to do some more water there, Farmer Sam? I mean, you haven't flooded everything yet. That's right, give it some more. You could always use more. Is that actually necessary? How's it going?
I'll put my head above like this.
Crazy? If you bump your head? Yeah. Okay. There is this thing called overwatering. Ever heard of it there, Farmer Sam? Ever heard of it? Overwatering? Huh? Nope. No, still going. I'm scared of what our water bill's gonna be, actually. No, don't flood it more. Is this what this is gonna be? What are you doing? What are you doing? Samuel. It's wet. It's wet. Stop. It's gonna die. Oh, they're so cute. Go, Farmer Smith. Dada. Gonna go pick up some rocks. Lord knows there's enough. Well, hey! That was a little bit extra. I'm sorry. I apologize. Well, it's me again. Emily. Back on the farm. Didn't go anywhere because everyone's in quarantine, so... What have I been doing? What has been taking me so long to get this vlog back up and running? Well, some stuff has really gone down. Let me tell you. We had a big rainstorm about 2 weeks ago that literally, like, it was not in the forecast. It came out of nowhere. The rain came in. Sam and the kids were in the barn and he was working, and they actually got stuck out there because it was raining so incredibly hard. And I was in here. Normally when there's a thunderstorm, we turn everything off, even with the breakers, so that if there was a lightning strike, there's not a power surge and it doesn't blow up the computer or, you know, whatever. And he is a software developer, so we need the internet, we need the computer, stuff cannot be dumped. That would be a bad thing. And so this rolls in, lightning strikes, outside, out of nowhere. Like, it wasn't even in the forecast. We normally don't have much rain around here in the middle of Texas this time of the year. This storm comes out of nowhere. Lightning strikes. We're pretty sure, because we didn't see it, but it was so incredibly loud. It was terrifying. We think it struck the pole outside. And of course, the one time we don't, you know, we're not able to prepare, and this actually happens. It blew out a bunch of the lights in the kitchen. It broke our air conditioning. It screwed up the internet. And I couldn't post anything on YouTube even if I wanted to. So that's why it's taken me so long to get this back up and going. I've had to take Grandma to the doctor, but that was actually before the issue with the power. And I get their groceries, and I just did a huge grocery order for ourselves. And I mean, it just seems like everything sort of just exploded at one time. But I guess in other words, I have a life and vlogging is not the #1 thing. So if that doesn't happen, it's just the way it's gonna be. I can't really help it. So many things have been happening, but here we are. I need to document what's going on in the garden. What am I harvesting? What am I putting in? What am I pulling out of there? I've got some new plants coming up, so we need to go over that. I probably won't be able to finish all of this vlog today, but that's okay. again, have a life. Sam's out there picking up rocks with the kids. I keep getting distracted staring at them. They're funny to watch. Oh, yes. There he is. Pick up those rocks, mister. What am I paying you for? Stop loafing around. There's that retarded goat. Does anyone miss me though? Like even just a little, maybe? I don't know. I need friends. Bad. Like and subscribe, don't forget. Do it! Look what I harvested today. Butternut squash. These actually, I have harvested, let me think. I think this makes 5 because there was 2 others I harvested so far. So I've harvested 5 butternut squash. Eager to cut these open. I think what I'm going to do is chop them up. I'll peel it. These actually peel easier than you think. I'm going to peel it and I can cut through it too. Because sometimes you think these big ones, you need to kind of cook it a little bit, which you can. You can poke with a fork a couple of times and then microwave it for a few minutes. And it softens it just enough to be able to cut it open. But honestly, it's not that hard. If you've got a nice sharp knife, just peel it and then cut it open. You can take some of the seeds out if you're going to harvest those. And then I'm going to chop these up, cube them, and freeze it. I did use the 2 that I had that were smaller, probably about the size of one of these, which is about this, you know, regular size butternut squash. I cooked them down, like I did what I said, got the cubes, and then I cooked them down, just boiled them in a pot, and I mashed it up. The mash is really easy. You can actually make like a sweet potato casserole and substitute those. I've done that. I would think that you could use them in muffins, like zucchini muffins. That would actually be really good because of the taste and the texture of it. It's got like a sweetness. And you normally, for zucchini muffins, you just use regular, you know, zucchini. I think you could use those and they would be really good. But I used it as a substitute, like it's pumpkin. And I made a pumpkin pie, but I did butternut squash instead. And honestly, it tasted really good. It was only a little bit different. Taste-wise, texture, it was very much the same. Honestly, if I made that and I fed it to, you know, family members or whatever, Sam tasted it. If I had not told him, I don't think he would have noticed that it was not pumpkin. It's actually really, really, really good. It's just a little bit different, but it tastes very much the same. So it's one way that you can use butternut squash is just make a pumpkin pie. I thought that was really tasty, so I'm definitely going to be doing that again. I need to finish cooking and then we need to look at the garden, whether that's today or tomorrow, but let's get to it. I am very much aware that I'm kind of a mess today, but it is hot, it's humid. It was raining earlier, again, not in the forecast. It was acting pretty mean out there. It was windy, it was thundery, stuff was really just out of nowhere. And so when it's like that, my hair's curly, but it does what it wants. Sometimes it's not curly, it's like straight. I don't know. It's just a mess today. I'm a mess today. It is what it is, but oh well. But I did want to mention, without forgetting, because I know I will. One of the things that I've been doing is making English muffins with my sourdough starter. I did attempt, and wasn't able to vlog it, to make bread, but the recipe I used, and I think my starter is not really active enough yet for bread. Not for like bread, like sandwich bread, like light fluffy bread. It was really dense. It wasn't bad, but it was kind of dry, and it wasn't what I was wanting. But the English muffins are to die for. No joke. They are so good. They are super easy to make. I need to just link in the description the recipe that I found on Pinterest. I think a lot of them, they're probably about the same, but this one in particular is the only one I've tried, and I almost don't want to bother with any others because these are so good and they're really easy. So here we are. We're just going to pick up where we're at, and we're going to go forward because sometimes this is just how life is. But an update on Grandma as well with her dementia. I mean, nothing has really changed. It's not been that long since I announced that that was the thing that we're dealing with. But her dementia, just like anyone who has it, or Alzheimer's, whatever you're dealing with, it's extremely common for them one day to be super confused. Just they can't remember anything. Everything is off. Even stuff from years ago that they normally retain and remember really well, they just don't. And they get it all mixed up. And then there's other times where they remember stuff and they shock the pants off of you. You are floored and very confused as to how they remember what they remember. It does make life very interesting, but it also makes stuff really hard. She's quickly getting to the point where she's not going to be able to cook anymore. I have mentioned this before, and I'm mentioning it again because I buy their groceries. She does not drive. We're in a pandemic, so I don't want him with his emphysema and his COPD. He's 91. I don't want him going out and exposing himself to germs, mask or not. So I'm picking up groceries for all of us. And she's gotten to where, this is what I'm getting to. She's gotten to where she only cooks certain things, and I've mentioned that, but she's really honed in on, like, vegetables come from a can. So buying frozen doesn't work for them. Fresh, it's just like potatoes and onions, which she uses a lot of, but everything else is out of a can. And that's okay, kind of, except for the fact that there's a lot of salt in a lot of those things, unless I can get something that is, got less sodium in it. But it's also making things difficult in just variety of what they're eating. And she gets stuck on the same thing. So I just wanted to update that, because when I look back on this, I want to be able to remember what was Grandma doing right now. Well, when she comes over in the evening to play ball with the kids, where they just throw the ball at each other and then she walks back to the house, she asked me the same series of questions over and over and over again. And this is like last night she did it. She will ask me what's planted in the trough over in the corner of the backyard. And those are chili pekins, or maybe that's not the name of them. It's whatever looks like chili pekins and is very, very hot. Maybe they're not chili pekins, but she will ask me every time, what is that? And it's the same conversation every day. And then other times, she'll kind of remember that we've talked about it before. Kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. But the rest of the time, no. And the biggest one is like seeing something out in the field that Sam has out there and then asking me what it is every time. And then having a conversation about it. And then right after she's done, what's that back there? And she just referenced it. Like, she not only forgets that we just talked about it, she forgets what it is. But her brain is kind of stuck in that mode, so it's sort of like this repeat of the same thing. It's strange. But it's very interesting, too. I don't know what that is. I don't know. But that's where we're at. But she's still doing okay for right now. She was feeling bad. I took her to the doctor a couple weeks ago, but she's feeling better now. And she seems to be okay. Her blood pressure was low. We're not exactly sure why. But she's okay now. She's feeling better. And the figs. The figs. He has brought me about 3 bowls now. I think Sam sort of deterred him from bringing me any more. But I was being polite. I didn't want to be rude. I didn't want to be like, don't give me this. I don't want it because you sprayed it with poison. But he hasn't been bringing me anymore. And he's okay that, we're not like continually eating them. So I guess they'll harvest what they want. He's feeding the rest to the goats within reason, because you don't want to give them too much. And then the rest of them are sadly just mostly rotting. I don't know. I don't know what else to do with them because they have poison sprayed on them. I know that's soaked into them. Sam and I even talked about going into the barn, like before he would spray them. Like next, I guess he started that in June because they weren't ready yet. By like May or June, taking whatever little bit that he has left in there and then like dumping it out and washing out the bottles and then filling it up with water and even putting like some yellow food coloring in it. I know that's terrible, but if he sprays it, I prefer him to spray it with water that has food coloring than to spray it with straight up bug poison. I just cannot with that. I cannot eat that. No, sir. And I'm not trying to cast shade on Grandpa. It's not like that. But older people, sometimes they get these ideas in their heads and it's like, no, it's fine. Like, you don't understand. You can wash it. And the way he does it too is almost like he's laughing at me. Like, why are you worried about that? Just wash it off. I don't know how you would think of that, but that's where we're at with that. That's how he thinks. And otherwise he's pretty manageable and he's very pleasant to get along with. So there's nothing like that. It's just that he just doesn't understand, I guess. That's just how he thinks. I don't know. That's just how he thinks. So grandma's dementia, that's where we're at. Figs, that's where we're at. There's no baby goats yet. I'm kind of thinking Pity's not pregnant. I think she's actually just fat. Even though Grandpa told me she was going to have babies. I've been watching her. She hasn't been getting any bigger. And actually the billy goat, he looks about just as round. So I'm going to assume at this point that she's just fat and needs to, you know, eat more salad. That's all they do is eat grass. So how are you fat? You don't even put dressing on. I don't know. Retarded goats. I got some new Baker Creek seeds and we need to look at what I got and talk about a few things that I've already planned and looked into getting in the ground that actually I need to get in there like now because it is August the 2nd and I really don't have any time to waste at this point. Stuff needs to get going for the fall garden. I just pulled a few things out so I have some space out there. And I'm working on a second wave of tomatoes. And this, again, this is my first year doing a big garden, a big box, where I've got more space than I've ever had for gardening, but also I am trying really hard to learn a bunch of stuff. So we're just gonna take it one step at a time. I am very much excited about watermelons because I know how to grow them, and I know that Baker Creek has amazing seeds, and the strawberry watermelon is amazing. But we'll look at what else I got and we'll talk about that. I don't know what all I'm gonna do this evening, but I'm gonna get some stuff done and then we'll get to that. We did finish Ellie's dress. I actually just have to put some of the finishing stitches on it. That was gonna go into another vlog as well. But you know, it is what it is. But we basically are done with. While I'm thinking about this, if you find yourself on this channel and you hear me saying something about what I'm planning to do in the garden or something that I'm going to try, if I'm making a giant mistake or I'm not taking something into consideration, please correct me. I have tried to do a lot of research and I continue to do that, but sometimes you just get ideas and you get excited about doing those things. If I'm making a mistake, then please correct me, especially if you've done it already and you know it doesn't work. That way I don't continue to make mistakes that I should not be making because you've already learned that. So I prefer to learn from your mistakes than to have to experience it myself because that's actually a lot harder and I don't like that. I would prefer to learn. So please teach me. Oh, looky, looky. We found ourselves a snake. But at least he's just the checkered garter snake. He's harmless.
A garter snake.
Be gone. That's right, leave. Well, hello again. Okay, so we're outside. It is not the next day. It's actually been 2 days. But that's because I got extremely busy. It rained again. And then I got a massive migraine. So I was like, forget it. I'm just going to do it the next day. So that's what we're doing now. The neighbors are shooting their cannon again. It's always so loud. Really? I shall ignore them and proceed. So I think for the rest of this vlog, I'm going to show what's going on in the garden, the seeds that I got, what I'm putting in right now on the 4th of August, 2020, and then some of my ideas of what we're going to be doing next. Okay, so first I'm going to look at the seeds that I've got. Now some of these have gone in, but not all of them. But I'm not going to plant every one of them, obviously. I've only got so much space, but I've got this Mexican sour gherkin, otherwise known as cucamelons. I'm very excited about that. Some pink mizuna. Also excited for this. I've been wanting to try this for a while. Some more slow bolt cilantro. Wild thyme. And some Emily basil. Of course, I had to get this one. Marjoram. I've not had success with this, so this is a take 2 for me. I believe this one's called Ronde Denise, but I could be wrong with that. Some little squash. I thought these were so cute. Also, I'm kind of fascinated with stuff that's small like this and says prolific production, because then I can focus more on a plant that's gonna give me smaller fruits that are gonna ripen faster prolifically, which is fun when you can just pull them off the plant and bring them in and cook with them on a more regular basis. This one, for sure, I really wanted. These lemon squash actually really look like lemons. They look so cute. And it did say prolific production. So just like the other ones, I was very excited about this. So I have high hopes for this one too. I think this is called Calibus. I don't even know. I like that it's small. You're used to getting some of those ginormous ones from the store, so I wanted to see if I could grow some smaller ones. I have some regular cabbage, not just the purple one like this, that grows just like this one, so I'm gonna be planting both of them. Some early purple sprouting broccoli. I think it's really pretty, first of all. Purple is my favorite color. This is a very pretty color. And I have not grown broccoli before, so early sounds like a winner, due to the fact that I really need to get it going and see if it's going to do anything. Also, I know that some of these, like this one, you know, it's going to be frost hardy. It's going to like the cold. But I might go ahead and sprinkle a few seeds in now just to kind of see what they do. The Bay Alpha cucumber. This one does not require pollinators, so I was really excited about this one because I really struggle with my Richmond green apple cucumber. I only got a handful of those. They didn't do well at all. I'm not going to grow that one again. I think I have a problem with pollinators, especially since my sunflowers didn't give me any seeds. So I'm really crossing my fingers for this one, but my my other cucumbers have done really well. It was just the Richmond green apple. But since this one doesn't require pollinators, I'm curious to see how much better it might do. Groninger Brussels sprouts. I also have the purple Brussels sprouts, so we're going to give those a try as well. I know that some of this might be too soon to be going in, because some of them are supposed to go a little bit later. I'm more focused on getting this stuff in for the sake of a second succession for the summer garden and preparing for fall, not those winter vegetables like lettuce and stuff. But I kind of want to just sprinkle a little bit just to see what they do in a couple of random spots. But some of this other stuff like the squash and the cucumber, those I'm definitely planting now. And some watermelons, let's look at those too. Of course, this is like the cutest thing ever. There's some Quejo watermelon that get up to like 1 to 3 pounds, personal little watermelons, and they're orange on the inside. So with the luck I've had with the strawberry watermelon, I am very much looking forward to trying this and getting some fruit before it is too cold. And my sugar baby bush watermelons, these grow small, so I wanted to get these in because I don't have a ton of room right now, and you can get these in the ground and it doesn't take up a ton of room because it's just a small bush, but you can still get some small watermelons before it's too cold. Those are also great if you don't have a lot of space in your garden, is what I've been told. So I'm definitely going to be testing that out. I mean, that is what I'm doing. I'm planting it because I'm testing it out, so whatever. So, Romanesco Italia broccoli. I think this is one of the weirdest and coolest, trippiest looking broccolis I've ever seen. I don't know, I just had to try it. We're going to see what happens with this. Also have some dragon tongue green beans. They're the ones that are green and have the purple streaks in them. And I've heard that these do really well, and I'm getting these in. I actually have 2 planted already, so we're gonna see what those do. We also got some Uzbek carrots. I think that's how you say that. These are those kind of cylinder long yellow stubby carrots. I haven't had good luck with my other carrots, but since it's a different variety, I thought we'd give these a try. It's still too hot for all these root vegetables, but these will be going in the next month or so. I think you call this Zalta, maybe? Zalta radish. I thought they were really pretty. This lighter golden color, and when you cook them, you saute them, they're kind of sweet. So I'm gonna see how these do, just in comparison to normal radish. And these looked really cool. These round black Spanish radish. I mean, they are so dark. They are literally black. I thought these would just be fun. And this is very interesting. Of course I had to get a giant one. Why not? But this, I think you call it daikon. I have never grown something quite this large. Ollie, what do you think about that? Look how big this is.
Really big.
It's really big. Is it really big, Ellie?
Kind of too skinny.
Too skinny?
But it's not skinny. Really not skinny.
No, it's fat though.
Yeah.
And some cylindra beets. These are, I think it's funny, cylinder, you know, it's that long. So like those carrots I was saying, they're long, and they're not like long, they're kind of stubby and fat. But I just find it to be interesting. And beets like this, I mean, tons of nutrients. And it's just a different type. So we're going to try these. And some giant yellow Eckendorf beets. My gosh, look at how huge these are. These are massive. This one says that it can get up to 20 pounds. I've never seen a 20-pound beet, but I might here come harvest time, so let's go. And who doesn't love some free seeds? They threw in some Japanese giant red mustard. I've not grown any kind of mustard, so this will be interesting to try.
Mustard?
And I like that it's purple. Yeah, mustard. Mustard greens.
Wait, it's mustard? What you put with your hot dog? Mustard? It's not mustard, it's purple.
No. You can cook these. They're healthy.
Mustard?
Yeah, but that's another story. Okay, so that is what we're planting. Say hi.
Hi.
That's what we're planting. And I'm going to show you. Ooh, there's dragonflies everywhere all of a sudden.
Oh, yay.
I haven't seen any dragonflies until right now. That's crazy. Well, so they flew away.
Yeah.
So that's what we're planting. And I'm going to show you what's going on in the garden. And don't choke me, Ollie. Where I'm going to plant everything. And I want to talk real quick about what my experiment is going to be. What Ollie is excited about. We are going to go down to the pond. I'm probably not going to put it in this vlog. But we're going to go down to the pond. And we're going to pick some spots to plant some seeds. Some of the smaller watermelon. Hey. And some of my asparagus, because I've heard that asparagus can grow wild, and because it takes a couple years for it to do really well before you can cut it and actually harvest it and cook with it.
Yeah.
Some people have it grow, by their ponds and such. So I'm going to conduct an experiment where I find a couple different spots, levels with where the water is and where it's damp, to where the seeds can potentially germinate, but then reach their roots down into the ground and still get moisture and water. and be able to thrive without any maintenance. That might be a real long shot, especially with pests and any kind of fruits that I have out there. There's deer out here, coyotes, skunks, all that kind of stuff. So it may not work, and just bugs, honestly. Eating the direct sown seeds that are sprouting, because I'm not starting them beforehand. This is just kind of an experiment to kind of see if I'm really reaching far out there and what's reasonable and what's doable, or if it's something that can really happen. But there's really only one way to find out. So let's find out together. Okay? But I will keep that updated on what is going on with that. If anything is going on with that, we will know about it. Not long ago, Sam was in the barn and he saw our friend Ratty out there again, who's the size of a rabbit. That little jerk, I mean, he knocked the trap down, licked off the peanut butter, because rats and mice, rodents love nuts, peanut butter, especially not cheese, and he knocked it down, licked it off. Then we reset it, put more peanut butter on there. Sam glued it to the rafters where he saw him, and he hasn't touched it. So we're talking about trying a different kind of trap. I've thought about going out there actually in the dark and documenting, like, if I could see him, because this dude is huge. This is a big rat, but it's kind of spooky out there at night, and I might test it once. We'll see. But one way or the other, that rat is still out there because we saw him recently, and this has turned into straight up mouse hunt. I don't roll rat hunt. This guy will not. He's too smart, apparently. And of course, if I'm going down to the pond, I'm going to watch out for Gaty. I haven't seen her, assuming that she is there. For those who don't know, we've kind of entertained this idea that there might be a gator at our pond, which could be. It's not impossible, but it's not super likely either.
Hey, Mom.
But we're watching it, yes.
I didn't know how this broke.
Oh, did you just break that?
Yeah, I did pull on it. I was trying to smush that piece of leaf, but that's broke. I didn't know how to do that.
Well, I think it was about to break, so it's okay. But let's be careful so we don't break him again, okay?
Okay. Because I just stepped
It came
on
from
it.
Dollar Tree. It came from Dollar Tree.
Yeah, Dollar Tree. Yeah.
It accidentally broke. It's okay.
Hey, a little piece.
I've had to fix my hair for the last, 10 minutes, like 3 times. But now let's look at what's going on with the garden and then go from there. Okay, so some of my trees over here that I had planted, my avocado, it's not doing like fantastic. They are still alive, they're still living. I've got more than I can know what to do with lettuce seeds, but I'm letting this other lettuce go because that's their main over there. You good?
Yeah.
Careful, Ollie. You're just kind of breaking everything, aren't you?
Yeah.
Careful, buddy. And I have some butter crunch lettuce over here. I mean, I could ideally pull a lot of this out. Seriously though. And I really could pull some of it out because I don't need all of this. But I was genuinely curious to see what all was going to sprout for me. Not all of it is romaine or butter crunch. I have some other lettuce in here. You can see there's a completely different color going on with this. I forget what this one is, but it was a mix. So I'm actually not sure specifically what that was. It wasn't just a single type that I bought. And then some of that Aurora mix down here. I needed to get the chives out because they're getting hidden in here, and I'm kind of concerned about them getting choked out. Plus I have too much lettuce. This grapefruit from the store seed that had sprouted inside the grapefruit has really grown quite a bit. I'm just gonna leave it though for now. And then over here I have another one, but then I have this, and honestly I almost want to think it's some type of weed, but at the same time, I don't think it is. It's like a vine, and I know I put a bunch of other seeds in here, and it's kind of like woody at the bottom. I'm not totally sure. I know that I put little tangerine seeds in here. I put lemon seeds, and I might have also put grape seeds. I don't know what the heck this is. I don't want to pull it out because I feel like it's probably something I planted, but I do not recognize it, so I'm gonna do a little bit of searching and see if I can figure out what that is. My dill is flowering, and I'm gonna have some seeds here. The cumin didn't do very well. This is a very small pot anyway. And then my catnip, some of it got in here and it's flowering. Of course, the green onions that you buy from the store and you pop them in, they do perfectly fine. Bee balm, plantain down here, they're doing their thing, they're fine. I have, that's looking kind of yellowy, but that's my pomegranate that I planted. And then my organic blackberry and raspberry seeds that I planted. Got more green onion. Everything is doing pretty okay for the most part though. This pink German tomato, it's having a hard time. This one arm needs to come off. It has really not given me anything. Actually, it's giving me nothing, come to think of it. That one's giving me nothing. I have noticed that tomato plants, until they get about my height, which I'm 5'2", they don't produce anything until they get bigger. My big slicers haven't done very well this year. I'm kind of disappointed, but not surprised. Who knew marigolds really take off? This here is the, which one is this? Oh, this is the Paul Robeson. I've gotten a few off of this and they were tasty. I wasn't super impressed though, if I'm going to be honest. Over here, this is the purple Cherokee, and then I have another purple Cherokee here. Those are the tastiest out of the big ones. And then that was Aroma that sprouted for me, and then that's the one we just showed, that one. And then this vine, I had planted that a while back and it decided to really just take off. It's watermelon. There's some babies on it. It's trying to produce something for us. And in all the empty spaces, like I've said before, we've put radish and carrot and stuff. And really, because it's too hot for those, I'm letting them flower for me and give me seeds, if anything. Those are just experimental for now. And then over here on the other side of Ellie, we have finally this tomato plant has taken off for me. And it's trying really hard to produce some tomatoes. So I might still get lucky and get my shield. Get back on there. I might still be able to get some at the Berries Crazy Cherries. And then this is the black cherry. Now I didn't try very hard to prune. I should have tried. And I didn't, but this has given me the most. This has been the most impressive. Okay, and then over here we have another purple Cherokee. Those kind of came up because I planted several, so I just transplanted it. We have celery in here. I just sprinkled the seeds and they're growing, and I know they're slow growers, so we're just gonna see. I may or may not try to grow celery again. It depends on how they do. Peppers are trying. They're not doing as good as I would like. I might have to try some different seeds next time. These were ones I harvested myself from store-bought, and some I found at Dollar Tree. So it could just be my own fault. And that watermelon will climb up any fence that it's next to. That's a strawberry watermelon. After I pulled out those other 4, it's taken off. It's like a whole wall now. It goes way over here behind the okra. And it's trying really hard to put on new babies. So I'm just going to leave it and see what it does. And the okra, I mean, Ellie's pretty tall, and this is almost as tall as her, or just about. We left this one on purpose. Like, who knew that would get that big? Oh my goodness.
That's too much.
It's too big, I know.
It's too much for us to eat.
Too much for us to eat? Maybe. I left this on purpose for harvesting seeds and just for the sake of satisfying my curiosity. And then over
They're
here,
bigger than
we
me.
pulled out the cantaloupe and the golden bliss melon that I had planted. But again, the golden bliss was something that I harvested from the store, and it did not do good. It wasn't organic, so whatever was done with it, it's probably got to do with GMOs. It didn't do well. So I just pulled it out. I'm going to be planting several things here in the spare space. Sage, actually, this dude's a fighter, because it was sort of hidden and it still tried to grow, even though it was just barely peeking out in between all the vine from the melon. So sage definitely will grow for you. I've had a pretty easy time growing that. This butternut squash, this is, I believe, 2 plants. It's taken up a big patch here. I have pulled off now 4 butternut squash off of this plant. They're all very delicious. They are wonderful. It has perked up. You can see it's very happy. It's not droopy at all. Got big, nice lily pad looking leaves. And it's trying to grow more. So I'm just going to leave this guy alone because potentially I can get more out of it. I have learned, if you do not know yourself, that with butternut squash, you need to leave it until all the green streaks are gone, until it's nice and that fleshy, orangey kind of flesh color. When it's like really solid and you can't see that splotchy white and green streakiness on it anymore, even past the color that it's supposed to be, try to leave it as long as possible because it will be more ripe. And also the vine will harden and kind of dry up. And that's another way to kind of know. I'm not an expert at it, obviously, but I have learned that already from experience. This is just some European muslin that I've thrown in. This, I just barely dug this, threw it in, covered it, left it alone. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit your hand. But this has grown well. And actually, this grows pretty okay in the heat, but it does have a spicy bitterness, but it goes really good on sandwiches. I do want to add, though, that with the peppers, some of these that have come up are sort of hiding in here. And this is like a Spanish wax pepper. It's not spicy at all. I tasted one, and it's just hiding underneath there. So peppers, even in the heat, they really like the shade for sure. Over here, the okra. Okay, so I have 5 okras, but only 3 of them are big and like really producing. And I've come in sometimes 15 per day now in August. You really don't have to grow too many if you're not eating a lot of it, because man, it produces. And then some basil that I'm still trying to harvest from and make the most of. If nothing else, I just want it to flower so I can get the seeds. And then I popped in those little round squash seeds, and I put them over here because I want them to go out this way and then come up the fence. I need to do stuff with the weeds, and I'm gonna do that when I'm done with this. This needs to come up here and either go out or go up. That way it gets out of my way. I did plant 2 of the dragon tongue beans down there. I'm gonna plant a couple more somewhere else. This tarragon, my goodness. I love how round and pretty it is, but man, they do get really big. And then we've got the carpet oregano that I need to harvest more of. I'm drying it, actively drying it, and saving it to give and just to store. And the tarragon does go dormant, so I'm gonna want this for the winter when it's not growing. And then yeah, so I've got those are the herbs right now that I have the most of. But I am having a dickens of a time with ants. Come on, guys, really? I don't know why this is such a problem, but I've had a really hard time with ants. I don't know if this is good, bad, okay. It's probably something everybody deals with, but I don't really... I mean, what are they doing, man? Come on. But I've been having a struggle with ants, unfortunately. And I've just let these pinto beans go up here. I want to see if I can harvest them. And again, it was an experiment because it's actually outside of the box in this awful clay dirt that we have out here. And then I've got the muncher cucumber and the long Japanese cucumber, which if you don't know, these things can get really long. I have one here. I'm kind of letting it get a little bit bigger. That's a pretty decent sized cucumber. And there's like 4 others hidden over there. Pekins. Scare it away. Scare him away. He's eating our pekins. Now. Be gone. Be gone. Naughty bird. He's gone. That is highly inconvenient to my life, okay? The zinnias. These is canary bird. They're still doing really well. They love the heat. They're very hardy. And these, I got these seeds from Dollar Tree, and they're doing really well. They're very pretty. Come out and cut them, though, and then it'll encourage the plant to put on more. And this crazy asparagus that I did plant in a box, it's trying to make little flowers, and it's like a sad little pine tree, and it doesn't even want to stand up. It just wants to fall. But I have, I mean, it's so funny looking. They're starting to come in thicker, though, completely on their own. And then I have, let me see if I can find one. I have, you can see these little ones coming in, and it looks like regular asparagus. But they're really tiny. I did hear that you have to wait a couple years before you cut them. So I'm going to do some more research, but I'm going to leave them alone because I don't want to push my luck on trying to harvest something that really isn't ready, or it needs to be left alone. I was trying to get these radishes to give me seeds. And I planted slices of a tomatillo all over in here. I actually planted a chunk of eggplant from the store. These were from the store, just regular one from the store. It wasn't organic, though. I should probably quit doing that because sometimes it does not work out well most of the time, but sometimes it does. What are you doing, man?
It says resting.
Oh my. But they are trying to grow, so I'm just gonna leave it and we'll see what happens, because you do need more than just one tomatillo. What are you doing? What is that?
That's the one I made.
Did you like kind of braid it? Well, it looks good. And then I am actually, I've never grown bok choy, but this is the purple lady bok choy. It's really trying.
Look at these.
I'm actually really impressed. I'm kind of surprised that they're doing this well.
Here, this is
They've gotten pretty big. It's a pretty purple color, thank you. And I don't know. I'm just gonna watch them. I guess they might be heat tolerant enough. I'm gonna look into that because I thought they were more for the cold, but I put them in anyway. But they are actually growing. They're not dying on me, so that's got to mean something. And then over here, the Bay Alpha cucumber, I want it to come up on the trellis. I'm taking off that morning glory vine that didn't do anything and make most of that space, and the fact that they can hang off the trellis. And then the Dara flowering carrot, I had one of them sprout for me and survive. It's got the prettiest little baby's breath kind of little flowers. These are purple. And these others look like they have a hint of pink in them. That one maybe is more white. I think they're very pretty. Very pretty.
I like these.
Are you good?
Yeah, keep flowering.
Wow.
Look how pretty they are.
So now cucumbers are going to go up and then over meet in the middle on the trellis. I have the Mexican gherkins here as well. These pomegranates have really grown. That was from the compost. Right now I'm just going to leave them alone.
Do not.
But you can see there are bare spots now where some of the new stuff is going to go. There's some bare over there. And then especially right here where my melons were. So I'm going to be planting a few herbs and such. I have some suckers, some tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes especially, but some suckers of the cherry tomatoes that are going to come in here. And they're going to be planted on this side, and I'm going to try really hard to get another wave of tomatoes. But I'm going to make sure that every one of them goes in front of one of these posts, because I really need it to be able to be tied up to this, because this guy, after that terrible storm we had, he got knocked over. He was laying on the ground, and you know, it's got nowhere to go. And the bamboo, the sun is awful, I'm sorry, but here, he's way down here, and I've got nowhere to put him. Like, he can't reach up there. He's not next to a post, and these don't go up any higher. And let me tell you something, when the wind comes through, this getting knocked around down here, and these bamboo sticks are not going to help it at that point. They're just going to fall over. But that's that, though. So we have bare spots where a few of everything is just going to go, and we're going to see what they do, especially the stuff that can give me a harvest for right now. Not too many experiments, because even for the sake of trying to get it to bolt and save me seeds, like a center stalk or whatever on cabbage, I don't want to take up unnecessary space. That's also why I'm, for now on, everything that vines is going on this side, and everything that can be, you know, supported with the post or stands up really well, like peppers or okra, is going to go on the other side. I made that mistake. I'm not going to do that again. But also the pond, we're going to get those seeds in, and I'm going to watch it, and I will document where I put them for the next vlog. That way I can see where the water was when I did it, and then just kind of monitor it. But it may not work at all. It's just an experiment. We're going to try. But that is the vlog for today. And that's a very bouncy ball. But I'm going to get these seeds in before I run out of sunlight, so that they're in and ready to go, and we can just further document what's going on. Yep. Got stuff to do, so I'll catch you on the old flip-flop. Bye.
Like and subscribe.
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 Yeah, that's right.